Chapter 25. The Gestapo were Hitler's feared secret police force, a world away from these two clowns, but when Grandpa became convinced of something, he would not let go. So Jack kept quiet. Once the two detectives had brushed themselves off and straightened their ties, their undynamic duo took their seats opposite Jack and his grandfather. There was an awkward silence for a long moment. Both detectives looked like they were waiting for the other to speak. "Aren't you going to say something?" whispered Beef, eventually out the corner of his wide mouth. "I thought we had agreed you were going to speak first," replied Bourne. "Oh, yes, we did. Sorry." Then followed a pause. "But now I don't know what to say." "Excuse us a moment," apologised Bourne. The two detectives gave Jack and his grandfather embarrassed smiles before stepping away from the table once more. Jack was finding this hilarious, but didn't dare show it, while Grandpa's face was a picture of bemusement. In the corner of the small grey room, the two detectives huddled together, like rugby players discussing tactics. Bourne gave the orders to Beef. "Look, Kimberly, we've been through this before. We do the good cop, bad cop routine. It always breaks them in the end. Yes?" "Great." Beef thought for a moment. "Which one am I again?" "The good cop." Bourne was becoming quite agitated now. "But I want to be the bad cop," protested Beef. He was definitely the more childish of the two. "I'm always the bad cop," said Bourne. "Not fair," wailed Beef, acting as if a bigger boy had stolen his ice cream. All right, conceded Bourne. "You can be the bad cop." "Yes!" Beef punched the air in triumph. "But only for today." Jack was starting to feel impatient and called over from the table. "Sorry, are you going to be long?" No. We won't be a moment now," replied Bourne, before turning back to his crime-fighting partner. "All right, I'll go first. As the good cop, I'll say something nice. Then as the bad cop, you say something nasty." "Got it?" replied Beef. With confident strides, the two detectives returned to their seats. The thin man spoke first. "As you know, criminal damage is a serious charge, but you must remember that we are your friends. We're here to help you. We just need some answers to what you were up to with those old fighter planes." "Yes," chipped in Beef. "If you would be so kind," Detective Bourne groaned in despair. Chapter 26. Deeper Doo-Doo. Things were not going to plan in the interview room. Detective Bourne dragged Detective Beef back to the corner. "You fool! You're meant to be the bad cop. You can't just say, 'if you would be so kind.'" "No," asked Beef. "No, you have to be menacing." "Menacing?" "Yes." I'm not sure I can be menacing." "It's hard to be menacing with a name like Kimberly." "I don't think they know what your name is." "You've said it 100 times," exclaimed Beef. "Oh yes, sorry, Kimberly," replied Bourne. "You just did it again." "Apologies, Kimberly." "And again." "Oh, I promise it won't happen again, Kimberly. Please stop saying my name. Maybe it's best that I'm the good cop after all." "But you just said you wanted to be the bad cop." "I know." Beef looked very sheepish. "But I've decided I would like to swap. If you would be so kind." Bourne hastily agreed. The interrogation was fast turning into a farce. All right. Have it your way. You be the good cop, Kimberly, and I'll be the bad cop." "Thank you. And remember, please don't call me Kimberly in front of the suspects." "Sorry, did I call you Kimberly again?" "Yes, you did," declared Beef. "Sorry, Kimberly," replied Bourne. Jack couldn't help himself any longer, and a laugh leapt out of his mouth. "What's so funny?" demanded Beef angrily. "Nothing, Kimberly," snickered the boy. Kimberly looked as furious as someone called Kimberly could look. "Now they know my name is Kimberly, and that's all your fault." Bourne was not ready to accept all the blame. "I think your mother and father are most really to blame by calling you Kimberly in the first place. Why would anybody give you a girl's name?" "Kimberly is not a girl's name," Beef shouted. "It's unisex." "Are the supposed unisex names Mr. and Mrs. Beef could have called you Their bouncing baby include Alice, Carol, Darryl, Haley, Jordan, Lindsay, Marion, Meredith, Paris, Sunday, Stacey or Tracy. Oh yes, of course it's a unisex name. You meet so many called Kimberly, muttered Detective Bone before composing himself. Now look, we have an interrogation to do, remember? Yes, sorry. And remember, you are now the good cop, so try to be nice. Yes, I'm the good cop. Good cop, good cop, good cop. Beef repeated it over and over again like a mantra, so he wouldn't forget. Let's do this, said Bone confidently. Is it time for a quick pee? Asked Beef. No, I've told you to go before we started. I didn't need to go then. You just have to hold it in. How? Cross your legs or do something. Whatever you do, don't think of a trickling stream. Oh, now all I can think of is a trickling stream. Detective Beef, you are making us both look highly unprofessional. Sorry. We're meant to be two of Scotland Yard's finest detectives. The finest. Then let's do this. Beef and Bone strode back over the table with a renewed sense of purpose. Right, began Beef. Would you like to come over for dinner? Jack and his grandfather looked at each other in disbelief. That's too nice, Kimberly, Bone shouted. But you told me to be the good cop. That doesn't mean you are so nice that you invite them over for dinner. Beef thought for a moment. Lunch? No. A coffee morning? No. Look, Kimberly. Don't call me Kimberly. Kimberly, let me run this interrogation from now on, okay? Beef descended into a humongous sulk. This sulk was so humongous that now the detective refused to speak, nod, or even look anyone in the eye. Instead, he just shrugged at everything. Bone returned his steely gaze to Grandpa and soldiered on alone. 3 priceless antique aircrafts were badly damaged today. Would you explain yourself? It didn't mean any harm by it, protested Jack. It was an accident, I promise. You've been very quiet, old man. What do you have to say for yourself? Demanded Bone. Jack's eyes darted to his grandfather. Was the old man about to say something that would drop himself even deeper in doo-doo? 27. Turning the tables. Down in the underground interview room of Scotland Yard, Jack looked nervously at his grandfather. What was the old man going to say? Grandpa straightened his RAF club tie before looking Detective Bone straight in the eye. I have questions for you, he declared. What on earth are you doing? Jack whispered. The only way to beat the Gestapo is to play them at their own game, Grandpa whispered back. No, you don't have any questions for us, old man. That's not how this works, replied Bone, a note of disbelief in his voice. Little did the detectives know that Grandpa was not a man who would take no for an answer. When is the lunch date for Operation Sea Lion? He demanded. Operation what? Asked Beef. Don't play the fool with me. You know darned well what I'm talking about, shouted Grandpa as he stood up and started pacing the room. The 2 detectives shared a look with each other. Now they were even more confused than Grandpa. The pair had absolutely no idea what the old man was on about. We really don't know, replied Bone. You can never win the war of yours, and you can tell your friend Mr. Hitler that from me. I've never even met him, protested Beef. Neither of you are leaving this room until you tell me the start date for the ground offensive. Having been an officer in the RAF, Grandpa carried with him a natural sense of authority. The 2 detectives were cowering at having the tables turned on them. Jack was impressed. But I'm meant to be playing badminton later, pleaded Bone. Grandpa stopped pacing the interrogation room and leant over the table. He brought his face close to Beef and Bone's. Despite his age, the old man was a formidable character. You are not leaving this room until you tell me. But I really need to pee, begged Beef. I'm going to wet myself. The poor man looked as if he was about to burst into tears. "Tell me the start date for Operation Sea Lion." "What shall we do?" whispered Beef. "Let's just say anything," replied Bone. They both answered Grandpa at exactly the same time. "Monday, Thursday." This had the effect of making them look like liars, which of course they were. "Come on, squadron leader," ordered Grandpa, and Jack stood up to attention. "Let's leave them in here to sweat it out. We'll be back in the morning." Grandpa spun backwards towards the policeman. "You better tell us the truth then, or my goodness, there will be trouble." With that, the old man marched over to the huge metal door of the interrogation room, and Jack followed closely behind. The two detectives watched in stunned silence. Thinking quickly, Jack swiped the keys from the lock and pulled the door shut behind them. His heart was racing as he turned the key once more and locked the two men in. Click. Just at that moment, the detectives realised they had been had. They raced towards the door to try and open it. They were too late. They started pounding on it for help. "Brilliant work, sir. Now let's run," said Jack, as he tugged his grandpa's sleeve. "There's one last thing, squadron leader," replied Grandpa. He slid open the hatch in the door and shouted through to the two detectives, "By the way, Kimberly is definitely a girl's name." Then Jack and his grandfather raced down the corridor, up the stairs and out of Scotland Yard.